Christopher Holmes wants to know, will Steve Clarke change his formation tomorrow night against Morocco?
I asked him that exact question in the presser, and as you would expect, I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. You know fine well he's not going to tell you. I just wanted to gauge it a little bit. And I said to him, look, you've spent so much time ahead of this tournament working on the 4-4-2 formation. It served you well, it's looked good, but I asked, was that all simply aiming up for the opener? And do you have a sort of tactical change in mind for games 2 and games 3? He kind of just said, look, all the systems that we've used, we've done a lot of work on, and we're comfortable in switching. So it wasn't a yes, we're going to switch, but it wasn't a no, we're going to stick with what's got us here, or what they've been using recently in the build-up to. I think he'll switch. I don't know what that switch looks like yet, whether it's a 4 at the back or a 5, whether Ben Doak makes the starting lineup or not. That's been a debate. But yeah, I anticipate a change. I don't think we'll go 4-4-2. Having said that, I've said it already, Steve Clarke, to use a baseball analogy, the king of the curveball. And let's not forget, it's one of our biggest wins under Steve Clarke was Denmark away, and he went with 2 up top.
Get the point.
That's right. Sorry, and he went with 2 up top in that game, and Lyndon Dykes and Shea Adams. Anything is possible. If you're asking me, I think I'll be surprised. I'm not surprised, not amazed, but I think he'll switch from the 4-4-2 to something a little bit more robust.
It's funny, when we were coming here the day in the taxi, then me and Jacob were talking about the Denmark game. It was interesting the more I thought about it. Well, that Denmark game, probably the last game we played where we had to get minimum a point in terms of getting the campaign off to a positive start. And he devised this plan, which kind of surprised us on the night. 4-4-2, pretty flat, 4-4-2 with 2 strikers. Dykes obviously been target man up front with Adams, and it worked a treat for them. No, because with the 2 up top, we actually created a couple of chances. But we were really solid. We could play long and direct when we had to. So that's definitely an option for him. But I'm going to stick to my guns and say I think it'll probably be 4-5-1 or 4-2-3-1, whatever way you want to look at it. I still think he'll bring another midfielder in, sacrifice one of the strikers. And as Jacob's touched on during the week, I've got a funny feeling Lyndon Dykes might start, potentially for the other striker. He might start up front his own, because we mentioned it last night. I just think
he's so good at that job.
Gives you the focal point, gives you that capability to go more direct. He's probably the best at holding it up in terms of his power and his strength. So I think there'll be a couple of changes. No more than that. I mean, I did say last night, Steve Clarke said pre-tournament, thought most teams would change 3 or 4 players game to game. That might well be the case. I mean, he might change one of the centre-backs. Talk about Kieran Tierney maybe coming in, which probably involve a change in system. But I think there'll be minimum a couple of changes and obviously a tweak tactically as well.
And in the comments, Christopher says he thinks he'll leave Shankland up top on his own. Alan seems to reckon
see that for a minute. I think that's the least.
Alan says I reckon it'll be 4-5-1 with Lyndon up front to start with to be the battering ram, and Jimmy's in really confident mood. He says it'll be a 3-5-1 starting with 10 men. So I think that'll be interesting, Jimmy, if we do that. I mean, go out and beat Morocco with 3-5-1. I can't see
we're so confident we're going to go in a man down.
Exactly.
Give him a chance.
Sorry, Jimmy's actually got in touch saying 3-5-1-1. Sorry about that, Jimmy. Stitch up there. Ross says Scotland need to go for it tomorrow. We need 3 points to guarantee we're through to the next round. Ross is right, obviously, guys, but 1 point, I think, more or less gets us there, doesn't it?
1 point. The way that the first round of fixtures across all the groups have panned out, it's looking more and more likely that 1 point is all but guaranteed. In fact, Daniel, there's been so many draws in the opening round of fixtures. You're starting to look at it and think there's a very good chance that 3 points might get you through. We might have done enough already, but Scotland can't think like that. And then it comes down to goal difference. Or maybe not, Scott, because there might be, there could be a number of groups where the third place team has just got 2 draws, two points.
Yep.
Well,
Craig in the comment says Katie.
all that, we could pour over all the details of that later when we know. But I think you can say, take it to the bank right now. If we get 1 point tomorrow night, we ain't going home.
Yeah. Craig in the comment says Tierney's definitely starting. It will probably mean Doak is benched though. Joseph
Tierney's
says
definitely starting.
He says, for me, Doak and Curtis both start young, fast, fit. Lyndon Dykes is too slow for chasing the ball. Rebel says,
He's not there to chase the ball.
Play the way we beat Spain 2-0. Chick says, Shankland will be wasted, man, playing up in his own. They'll pass it around him for fun. What was I going to ask you there? Kieran Tierney, I think he'll come in, guys. Do any of you share that view? And do you both agree that you now think that Ben Gannon Doak will start on the bench?
Well, hold on there, because one of our viewers says that he's definitely keen. He's definitely starting. I'm going to try and get the boy's number, because I could do with him in the record sports desk if he's going to weigh in. He's going to weigh in with team lineup exclusives more than
that's from a K Tierney who's based in Boston apparently.
So if you think he'll start, then I take it you think we're going with a 5 then.
That's my hunch. Obviously, there's a good chance I could be wrong, but I think there's a chance that he might flip it around and go with a back 3/5 tomorrow night.
You're very seldom right, Dan, to be fair to you.
Listen, all last season, Keith and I said Martin O'Neill would still be Celtic manager next season, didn't I? Come on, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Well, did you? I don't know. I told you, Dan, I'm losing track of time and days.
I don't know what day it is.
No one name.
For what it's worth, Rebel in the comments agrees with me. I can just see Kieran Tierney coming in to back up Robertson in that sort of left back sort of area with Hakimi and.
Right, Dan. They're comfortable with it. They've used it before. I'd be surprised. Mid-tournament, after getting a win in your first game, you then kind of break up the back four, go with something different.
But we did, as I said the other night, was it last night, the night before? Can't remember. That Steve Clarke did have a bit of a prolonged exchange, protracted exchange with Kieran Tierney, the side of the training pitch in Charlotte, before one of the sessions, and it the guy that kind of saw that said to me he felt really strongly that it looked like a manager telling him exactly what was going to be expected of him.